Hello and welcome back to a Chip Off the Old Block Toys. I'm Jeff, and today we're going to review, well, there's been some confusion. The name is either I-Jango Fett's Firespray-Class Starship, or it's called Slave 1, like when it was first appeared in The Empire Strikes Back in 1980. It was only in 2022, what is that, 40-something years later? Or, yeah, something like that, pretty close, that they decided to change the name. But it's always been Slave 1 to me, so from here on out, I'm going to refer to it as Slave 1. And I don't care about political correctness, it's Slave 1. This set has 2,970 pieces, excuse me, and it has two minifigures, both I-Jango Fett and Bobo Fett as a child. This is officially set number 75409. It does retail for $299.99. Now, if you guys have never seen one of my review videos before, let me give you a quick review of the review. And yes, I kind of meant that. Okay, so we go off value, creativity, playability, ease of build, and part out value. And we do that from 0 to 10, 0 being the worst, 10 being the best, and then the 6 score is where I averaged them all out. All right, guys, don't forget that these videos are Enzo approved. Before we get into those 5 categories, let's talk about dimensions. This one's pretty big. I mean, as you see, it's bigger than my head, and I got a big head. So, here we go. This thing is 17.5 inches from here to here. I did not include the stand, just the ship itself. It's 15.25 inches from wingtip to wingtip, and from its flat bottom, not when it's like this, from the flat bottom to the very top, which is, it slopes up right here, so I did this to the bottom. It is 6.5 inches. Now, if you're on the metric system, let me help you out. That's 44.5 centimeters this way, 39 centimeters this way, and it's 16.5 centimeters from the bottom to the top here. All right, as far as value, I actually think this is one of the better values that LEGO's had in a while. Here's why. It retails for $299.99. It does only come with 2 minifigures. However, if you take the 2,970 pieces divided by the 299, or opposite, I'm sorry, it is a total of 10.1 cents per piece, which is a good value. And building this, LEGO did not do that trick that they've done with other ones where they could have used a 1x2 plate and they used two 1x1 plates in order to get the piece count up. They did not do this at all, anywhere in this set. This set was built very purposely, and everything is meant to be where it's at. So the value is a 10 out of 10. And it does come with 25 stickers, but I've stopped docking it for that a long time ago. So creativity, that's a different story. Now, I do like the shape of the ship. They do capture the general shape of the ship. They do capture the guns and that kind of stuff, and the wings and how it, depending on which way you're going, it does move. And so does the cockpit inside. If you put the thing flat, they're always, the minifigures are always in the right rotation or orientation, I should say. But I have to say, I kind of don't like it because there's not much of an interior. There's just a cockpit. And if you read the stories, there's supposed to be 6 holding cells or prison cells, whatever, inside, and supposed to be some other things, and they don't even attempt to capture any of that at all. And this is the Ultimate Collector Series, so you expect it to have a little more detail. So I'm not too impressed with that. However, they do have one thing that I really did like, and that is in Attack of the Clones, when Obi-Wan Kenobi is following the Slave 1, they let out a seismic charge which blows the heck out of a lot of the asteroid field. And they included one seismic charge, which I think is pretty cool. I think it's awesome that they did that, and it did have a couple stickers on it, but it does look good. But then, you know, they have the seismic charge, but they missed the other thing. If you watch that scene again, you'll see that these little things come out and little missiles. Well, this does not do that. In fact, it likes to fall apart when you touch it. So, you know, extra points for having a seismic charge and having it look just like it, but a minus because there's no concussion missiles, whatever they call them, that can come out of the sides. So if you balance all that, not much of an interior, but yet they do have the seismic charge, but they don't have the missiles, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. And I think that's pretty fair. Playability is a 10. And basically that's because, well, if you put the minifigures in here, it does indeed rotate. You have the two minifigures, which, you know, because Captain Solo was never, or anybody else was not in carbonite with this video, or this particular ship as the color scheme, having two figures is perfect. And you've got Boba Fett here, I'm sorry, as a child, and Jango Fett. And although they've done another Slave 1 as Jango Fett's ship, these two characters are unique in their current form. And I looked at information up to verify that, and that is true. So playability is a 10 out of 10, just because you've got everything you need here to play. You even have a door here. I don't want to take it off the stand, I apologize, but you even have a door that opens here for minifigures to get in and out of. As far as ease of build, well, there were 2 booklets, and it was fairly, I mean, some of it was difficult. And you got to remember, I try to rate this as my granddaughter, and she's going to be turning 7 here soon, but I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Part out value, I will give it a 7 out of 10, and that's because there are a lot of slopes, curved slopes. There's a lot of wedges, wedge bricks, there's a lot of wedge plates. This cockpit's kind of hard to use it anywhere, anything else. So those difficulties give it a 7. And now, if you average everything out, the overall score is an 8.2, which is still pretty good. Another thing that is not rated on my scoring system, but it is a pet peeve of mine, and that is Lego for years, for probably the last 4 years, maybe even 5 years. I remember them to keep saying, oh, we're going to go to more environmentally friendly, like virtue signaling. Virtue signaling is a pet peeve of mine. Either do it or shut up. That's how I feel about it. And Lego says, oh, well, we're going to move over to paper packaging instead of plastic. Okay, well, this set had approximately 40 plastic bags, and only 2, the instructions and the cockpit, were put in this paper sacks. And because it's been a few years and that's all they've done, and I've had other sets where the instructions are in paper, a lot of them are in cardboard, but anyway, they haven't transitioned over like they said they're going to, and so I feel like Shrek.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
Anyway, I'll get off of that and let's talk about another thing that has happened, and that is, this isn't the first rendition. This is the first one in the movie, but not the first Lego rendition. So let's go ahead and let's pull out the other Ultimate Collector Series Lego set when it comes to this. Okay, so if you guys have followed the Star Wars lore, like I have, I've read over 100 of their books, you would know that after Jango Fett was died by Mace Windu cutting off his head, the ship was passed over to Boba Fett even though he was a child. Boba Fett had it was already customized to begin with, by the way. And also in the lore, if you didn't know, Jango Fett never bought the ship, he stole the ship. But whatever, that's not really important. What we have here is Boba Fett inherited the ship after his father died, or was killed. And he did a different paint scheme, he did other modifications to it. So anyway, it looks similar on the outside, but it is different. It has a little bit more weaponry with, you know, Boba Fett taking it over. And you know, Lego, because this version of Slave 1 is in the movie more than this one, they built this one first, and this one came out in 2015, 10 years ago. It has 1,984 pieces, just slightly about 1,000 less. I don't really see it though, but anyway, and it had 4 minifigures. It had Han Solo in carbonite, which he stuck up here. We have Boba Fett, we have Stormtrooper, and then we have a Bespian Cloud trooper here. Don't know the name. But anyway, this one was set number 75060. It retailed for $199.99, which is good considering that it's a little bit less pieces. And now the dimensions, this is 17.5 inches, this is 17.75, so it's just a barely bigger. Now the wingspan on this one is 15.25, this one's 15.5, and it does have these little things that stick out on each side. That's probably what it is. And then also when it comes to the height, there is just a slight difference, and that is this is 6.5 inches and this is 7.5 inches. So they are slightly different, but about the same. Even the back side of them looks similar. The only difference is there is no seismic charges on this one or the room for it. Let me turn this around so you can see that. This is the seismic charges on this one. Also, the other thing I noticed was that on this ship, what you have on the older version is that it does drop out, and it's kind of hard to do it because the way it fits in there, but it does come out, and you've got a missile right here. And also on this side you've got some other weaponry here. There we go. But they're both great sets overall. Now, there was also Jango Fett ship. It was not an Ultimate Collector Series 1, and it came out in 2002. Here's a picture of it. Now, this was set number 7153. I do not own a copy of it. There was 352 pieces and 2 minifigures, and it retailed for $49.99. And you'll see that because it's not an Ultimate Collector Series, it is not nearly as detailed as this one, but it's a great set overall. Alright guys, just to let you know, I am working on the Avengers Tower. I should have a video for you on next week. I've already started filming it, but it's not ready to be released because I'm not done building it, so that's coming. Also, we're going to have some city update live streams where I'm building it, and I've got a special announcement for that coming up soon, so be ready. Alright guys, be good to each other, stay safe out there, and I'll catch you on my next video.